It's time for another lunch with Banks, and this time I've got Vitality's apEX with me. You've made it through to another stage, things are looking better for you, but how are you feeling in general, mate?
Pretty good. We had a 3-day off before starting the Legend stage. It's really good. I mean, nothing special. Just trying to relax and practicing together, that's it.
The progress, man, that's what we want to see. Let's go grab some food, let's see what we got for today.
Let's go.
Dan, you've had a legendary career, all the way from the very top of Source, the top of CSGO. You've maintained it for a long time. But like childhood and stuff growing up for you, like early life, what was that like? What was it like before Counter-Strike?
Well, the funniest part with me is that I wasn't into video games at all. The only games I played was maybe PS, you know? And I was playing that with my cousins, and that's it.
Wow.
And even nowadays, I'm not playing like other games than Counter-Strike. Only Counter-Strike is my love, and the rest are not.
Interesting.
So I was more into sports.
Yep.
I was doing a lot of football. I was playing in a pretty decent level and stuff like that. The thing with me is that when I do something that I like, I do it 100%.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm not like, so that's why I can't do two things at the same time. I wouldn't be able to do something like really important with TS because I wouldn't feel good to do it just because I can't do 100%.
I get it.
The only game actually I would love to do would have been StarCraft.
Oh, that's difficult, man.
And that's exactly that. I would have been way too hard for my mind to play both. That's why I just didn't do it.
Now, do you have any brothers or sisters? What was growing up like for you? Or were you an only child?
Yeah, I'm alone. I think it's good for my parents that I'm alone because they would have been like crazy.
Are you a handful?
Yeah.
So the crazy apEX we see reacting on camera is the same outside, right?
My teammates always say to me that even when I'm really tired, I have even more energy. So yeah, I have too much energy. I'm just crazy most of the time. So yeah, for people, it's not that easy.
Okay, that explains a lot then.
Yeah.
And the cheeky smile on your face while you're saying it.
Exactly.
Were you a good kid in school though, right? Or were you a bit naughty?
Until I know CS, yeah.
Yeah.
I was. I think overall, I'm really interested in a lot of things. I like everything. I loved everything at school. History, everything. So science, maths, French. I loved everything. So that was quite easy for me to have good notes because I'm just interested.
Nice.
So yeah, but when CS appeared, that was the worst, way worst.
Really?
My mom, that was a tough moment for my mom, that's for sure. Because I didn't go to school too much.
Yeah.
I just was chilling and wanted to play CS. CS was my drug.
Wow.
I was really addicted. Like, it was an addiction. A big addiction. A really big addiction.
I like that you're admitting that as well. So you mean like you just wanted to play, wouldn't stop playing?
All the time. I remember I went back to school at 5. I played until 2, 3. And I had to go at school at 6, but sometimes didn't wake up.
So you had to wake up at 6 to go to school?
I mean, I think all the time I went to school, I slept 4 hours maximum. But that was okay when I was 15 to 18, 20. That was okay. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go every day. I have to admit. I was like more chilling. I remember my poor mom. I was just like, she woke up me at 6 because I was living far from the school and I had to take the train. So I woke up really early. She woke me up as well. She went to work and me, I went to my bed after. So, yeah, all the time. So when we talk about that together with the family, it's pretty hard moments.
And I guess now you can laugh at it, but back then there was a lot of problems, right?
Exactly. I think that for my mom, she was okay that I was playing CS, but the problem is that it wasn't professional at all. We couldn't earn any money. I mean, I started earning money in 2012 with Very Games. I think my salary was like 100 euro. With the tournaments, I was like maybe 500 euro a month.
Yep.
So obviously, it's not enough to live nowadays. So my mom was quite like scared about all the things. But whenever it became professional, I stopped school. I told her, I think this is my time.
Okay.
Hey, I have no regrets now.
Definitely no regrets now. You've achieved a lot, you've had the success. Now you're talking a lot about your mum in this as well. Do you have a good relationship with your dad, or was it not around?
I have a good one, but it was just not there. My parents are separated since I'm 2 years old, 3 years old.
Wow.
So, and my father didn't he's a good guy. I have no problem. He didn't take care of me that much. So obviously I have a really big relationship with my mother more than I have with my father.
That's good. So you were hard work for your mum this time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the way I am and everything I'm doing in CS is also part of my DNA and my mom DNA.
So
she's a really
similar.
hard worker.
Yep.
She's doing a lot for everyone as well. And I just know that all the things, I mean, you can ask my teammate, but I'm really hard worker. I think that's why I'm still here for so long. I changed roles. Obviously, I had like more like star role younger, then I became more support, and I did everything in some ways. So yeah, just changing my role, being able to work in different direction, and also like the other thing when you're human is you have a big ego, and it's not easy sometimes to look at yourself and say, yeah, you don't do good enough.
Yeah.
You have to get better at some point, and so many different things. And actually, that was my strength. I mean, this is my strength for the last 3 years, I would say. Because before I had bigger ego and I wouldn't change that much, but nowadays it's different. I admit everything. I have no problem when my teammates say that I'm doing bad shit.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I just say, yeah, you're right, no problem. I admit, I just do it bad, and it's really important for me that my teammates feel that I know my mistakes and I want to improve, because I used to have some in-game leaders that were not like that, and it's really hard to play with. So I'm just trying, and it's a good example for everyone to. If your captain in game leader just admit that it does mistakes, everyone is okay to say, yeah, I did mistakes as well. So then I'm trying all the time to say, yeah, it's my bad.
Very smart. Now let's look at the source side of things, right? Where you were on the legendary Very Games lineup, you had all the success, like you said, you were getting a small salary, but you're working your way up. What was this time like for you? Is this like, do you still consider that the glory days?
Unfortunately, my days in Very Games were not the best for Very Games. So that wasn't my glory days. I didn't know like too much about CS, and my ego was something bad. I was 19 at that time, and when you're really young like that, it's hard to get better at some point. And no, that wasn't the best days. Source, I wasn't like Shox, apEX, or Existence, the like legend of CS Source. I was under them, and that was actually the beginning of my pro career. Started in 10.
Yep, just before it started to finish off.
Yeah, exactly, and my time in Very Games wasn't that good. I think CSGO wise was much better for me, because the beginning of CSGO for me was really tough, because when it started, I just got kicked from Very Games, and I was like feeling really good in CSGO, and I just remember that Shox, Scream, Smith had a team, and they want, I mean not Smith, but Shox, Scream had a team, and they wanted me in the team, and I decided to not go and create my own stuff with Maniac and apEX, and we started from that, and we did really good results, and that was really nice for me to just create my own thing and believe with my own thing.
Nice.
Because everyone was like, why the f you said no to this team? I mean, it's legendary players, but I just didn't feel something special back in the day. So I just decided to create my own thing, and it started from there, and I could show everyone that at that time we were already in top 5 team, and that's the beginning of the glory days for me.
Okay. So Go was the positive side of things. You talk about like creating your own team. When you look at where you've gone from there though, right? We look at Go as a game, how it's developed. Who would you say is some of the teammates you have the fondest memories with?
Yeah, I think I have 3 teammates that I'm playing a lot with, who are Kenny S, NBK, and Zywoo. It's really different moments, because NBK was more like the NVS G2 times. Kenny was also a bit before, so I think that my world changed a bit since I played with Kenny. I think in 2014, in my LDLC days, I was playing with apEX, Maniac, Kali, and Uzi, and I was more a star of the team. I remember the ESL Cologne 2014. I had like crazy tournaments, and it was a major. We lost in semi to NIP, and I had a crazy major, and yeah, I was a really big star in the team. But then I changed for Titan, and I could see it's something that I think that has been a really good part for myself is when I saw someone better than me, I just decided to play for him, So when we arrived in Titan, I just saw Kenny and he was at his prime. He was at his big prime. So I just decided to play for him and just put myself on the back and just play for him. With more like knowledge now, I don't think I will have do the same. I will have play more for Kenny, but also think about myself. And I didn't do it enough. Because I think that I've been a big hard worker since day one. And I could feel that I could have done better as a player with more freedom. And that's something that French scene took me away in some sense, because also in most of the team I wasn't allowed to do my own stuff. Yeah. When I see players now, I'm like, okay, even star players, I'm like, I don't envy them, except maybe the crazy ones. But some other, I didn't envy them when I was younger, just I didn't have the space to do whatever I want. I was a bit like a kinder, but with chains. And I couldn't, I mean, when you see a kinder, you can see that he can do whatever he wants on the map. And that's more what I wanted, because I think I could like play really well in that sense. But maybe not that much like him, but a bit like him. And I didn't have that chance when I was younger, even though I showed that I could be a really good player. I just didn't want to make troubles in my team, because back in the days, also international team didn't exist. No. So if I was kicked from a French team, my career was over. And I just wanted to be a good soldier and listen to my in-game leaders, and didn't like bark too much, you know. No, I was a good dog, I would say.
I'd never call you a dog, apEX, in that sense. But looking at the French scene and how that was, do you think that was a problem in the end, that like the French scene was like that, in the sense that you may have, if you got kicked from one of the main teams, right, your kind of career was done, but also do you feel like it held the scene back? Because you guys had a lot of dramas, a lot of swapping of players and stuff like that.
I just think that Frenchies was too much of a mess. Players decided too much, and the staff didn't.
Power.
Too much power, and it's not good to leave power to the players. And I think with the talent we had, we could have done much better, way much better. We could have won other majors, but we had too many lazy people, too much egos, too much troubles within players. And yeah, all of that created something really bad. And look at now, we don't have French team anymore.
Yeah.
Like the only team that are hit, that's it. So it's really bad for the French team. I'm kind of sad, because the good thing is, thanks to a player like Zywoo and also a coach like Remy, French team exists for 2-3 years, 2-3 more years. Mm-hmm. So I did think that 2018 was the worst year for French team, and we could have done like 19, 20, and 21 with the French teams, still doing good. Not the best team, but I think the 3 years on a HLTV ranking at the end of the year we were third, which is not bad.
No, it's good, very good.
So yeah, I just think that it's still good to have done that, but we could have done much better, that's for sure.
So like from my perspective, right, I look at the French scene and I always think when you had that split up in the two teams, I looked at it as like you wanted to try and put one super team together, but you couldn't because of like what you mentioned, the egos, the relationship. Yeah, you tried many times of swapping players around, right? But you could never kind of get the right mix. Do you think that was just something that was never fixable? Do you think there was no way to get that together?
I think that in the French scene, the biggest problem were that some players didn't like each other. And it's really hard to work with someone that you don't like, because communication is really bad outside of the game, most likely. You don't say what you think about the other guy, no communication, most likely. So yeah, we actually tried to put the best players together in 2017 with Shocks, Kenny, NBK, Buddy and me. We had a good lineup, but actually we won 3 tournaments that year, which is not bad. We won Pro League, we won Malmö and DreamHack Tour. It wasn't that bad, but we had bigger expectations.
Of course.
Most likely at majors. I think we did.
Look at the names, right? You think?
Yeah. But yeah, you know that CS, it's multi game. It's good to have stars, but it's also the mix of players, the in-game leaders, all the things combined. You need to have the right mix, working together, having the same view, and we didn't have any of that.
So it's crazy that you did so well considering, right?
That's exactly. You know, when now I'm looking up at what happened, I'm kind of happy because we won 3 tournaments, and that's something great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But looking at your own development, right? Like you mentioned, you were a star player into them being more supportive players. Maybe not what you should have done, but it achieves success, achieves some results. Now you push yourself into an in-game leader role. Your hard work is paying off because I'll be honest, when you became in-game leader, I thought, what the f is going to happen? You know, like this could get real crazy. But you worked on yourself. You obviously worked a lot harder with X-Taz as well. How hard was it from you to go through these development? Like talk me through being a star, then go to support, then go into an IGL, because there's not many players that can do it, right? It doesn't happen. We don't hear this because so many players get stuck in their ways
and then they
just drop off and they don't want to work. How was it for you?
My star players days were kind of easy because I was doing kind of what I liked.
Yeah.
And I was like fragging a lot, trying to create some strategy around me, and it was happy back in the days. And he knew how to use me as well. He knew that I was a crazy player, that I wasn't scary at all to run and do stuff. So I just enjoyed doing that a lot. And that was really good. But then, yeah, as I had some other players around me, really talented players,
Yep.
really good players, like really Kenny at that time was the best. At some point I knew that I have to take a step back just to help him shine even more. I think 2014, Kenny had the best stats, like so far in rating 1.0. He had like 128, 129, which is crazy right now.
Yeah.
And he arrived like 6th best player in the world back in the days. So that was pretty weird. But yeah, we tried to play a lot around him because he was really good. He was really fast. But this adaptation wasn't that hard for me because I could see that I had to change myself a bit, but just for a crazy player. Yeah. And I still was a good player, but not a big star. But I was a good player. I mean, the 2 years I arrived like in the top 20 HLTV ranking, so I had a lot of success because my concern was to have success with the team, not individually.
Yep.
Individual trophies are good, but without team trophies, it's nothing. So my concern was just to have a lot of team trophies, which I had, I guess, and that's what matters at that time. And then I became way more of a support. I mean, I had changes. I was a bit of support entry fragger with G2. Then arrived Vitality. I was star again. I think we won tournaments. I had like 120 rating in ECS, and so it was good for me because I had the space to do what I wanted in the team. And when we changed and we came for Shocks, that's the moment I became worse as a player because Shocks in the team take way more space than in DK.
By far.
Way more.
Yeah.
So I also wanted him to feel comfortable. So I adapted myself to give him more space. And obviously it impacts your game, and I was becoming worse as a player. I think the second part of the season was really bad for me, really bad. I was like.
How does that hurt your like mentality as a player though? Like talk to me about that, because that must be quite hard because you get the community backlash, right?
Yeah.
And they don't maybe look at the fact that you've given Shocks more space or you
They
helped
don't know.
Kenny with it.
They don't know.
So then you're like, oh well, apEX is bad. You need to replace him, because I think the issue a lot of community people have, if they're not watching the games in depth, they don't understand the game fully. They just look at the numbers and think, well, you're shit. But actually, like, if you're winning the games, like you said, you're winning the tournaments, that's what matters the most. So how was that for your mental side of things?
At that time, that wasn't easy because you look way too much at social medias.
Yeah.
And it's also that because I've worked also a lot. I just felt that I deserve better roles at some points. Mm-hmm. And at the end of at that moment, it became worse with Alex a bit. So that was really hard for me as entry, and I couldn't do what I wanted at some point. I was really different from the beginning of Vitality for me. So that was really hard. Not only because of community, but also because of results. Because results became way worse at some point at that moment.
Yep.
So that was quite hard, to be honest. But then I had finally this change of being more of in-game leader. I remember, I mean, it always been in my head a little bit, but I was scared of myself because I'm really emotional, and I didn't know how I could handle this because it's really hard to handle this sometimes. And I see that as a player, sometimes I was getting crazy. So with more responsibility, I didn't want to do it like, okay, I'm gonna go in leader. I just wanted to take time and see my development as a player and that kind of stuff. And when Alex left Vitality, that was a big mess in the team.
Was that a surprise for you though, when Alex said he was going to leave and he didn't want to travel, or did you feel like it was coming?
We felt it was coming because that became worse in the team for the last 3 months.
Okay.
So we could feel it was coming.
Because from the outside perspective, I remember seeing it and was like, well, wait a second, he knew what being a pro gamer is like. Then you're going to like, you don't want to travel anymore, fair enough, okay, that's his choice. But it was just like, you've got Zywoo, you've got you got Alex, like this team together you think it's going to be amazing. And then you're like, oh shit.
He's not going to admit, but I think he regrets it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. He has to.
Yeah.
It's no way he doesn't regret it. He has such a strong team. People that was believing in him a lot. Smart players. One of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Obviously, he regrets it. But me, I don't.
Benefits you.
I discovered something on me that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could know a little bit. And I remember.
Well, you had the experience, that was the thing, right?
Yeah, but how many players we've seen starting to be Ingame leader and just falling apart?
True.
95%.
Yeah.
So for me, when it was Extase, I can see him there. He just called me. He said, I think it's your time. You have everything to be able to be Ingame leader. I think it's your time. I said, okay. Let me 2-3 days to think about it because I need
process it.
Yeah, I need to think if I'm able to do that. And then I said, let's go for it. And that was quite hard. I remember that when we speak about the community, once again, 95% of people didn't believe in me. And that's also what gives me strength. I love when people don't believe in me. I love it because I proved them wrong so many times already.
Exactly.
And it just gave me strength and it just gave me even more power to work even more. And okay, I didn't know myself if I could do it, but I knew that I could give everything. I remember some other players that told me that it would have been hard. I remember Seized, the Russian, because he tried it and it wasn't working for him. But I was like, it's not because it didn't work for you that it's not gonna work for me, because we're different. And I know
everyone's different.
Exactly.
Everyone's different.
And it actually clicked quite fast. I remember, I started being Ingame leader in March. And I think that was COVID period, so that was also quite hard.
It was a weird spot, right?
Because we had also Misuta as really young player.
Yep.
So for me, I needed to be Ingame leader that I never been, and having a rookie with you. How hard it can be. And during COVID period, and I'm a guy that I love to be outside. I love enjoying life, and that was really hard.
We also, even though Zywoo was as good as he was still an inexperienced player in that sense, right? So you had him and Masuta. Yes, sure, you had to do less with him, but it's like, as an in-game leader, you had a very tough task on your hands, because also the expectations from the community, because you had Zywoo, was even higher. It was like, you should be winning, you should be doing this.
At the beginning, I said the team was around Zywoo back in the days, and I want to get the other player more space, because we're not gonna win only with Zywoo, we're gonna win with the team. And that's, at the beginning, I received a lot of criticism about that, because they say, no, you need to play on Zywoo, Zywoo is such a... It's true, but we're 5 in the team, and everyone needs to enjoy. Because at the end with Alex, I didn't enjoy my role. I didn't enjoy CS at all.
Wow.
So
but this was your love, like you said, right?
Exactly. So my concern was, always been, even though with the Danes, that everyone is happy in the team with their roles.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes you have to give away some things for the team. Mm-hmm. But overall, you need to really enjoy what you're doing. So that was my main focus, and at the end it worked. Even I think 20 and 21, I have to be honest. Okay, we had Zywoo, but the level of the team we had, the firepower was way less than most of the teams, but we beat them.
Look at what you did with Masuta as well. Masuta just went up and up and up. He felt so comfortable,
also,
confident.
We also did well with Kyojin last year.
Yeah.
And it's just because we tried with Remy most likely together to help every player to enjoy what they do and not be scared, and all the things combined. Even though we had less good players, we tried to do that, and it worked. And I think it's a good mentality for an in-game leader. But yeah, I want to say again that thanks to Alex, I became who I am right now.
You got the chance.
And it just feels good because I couldn't change my role anymore. Being in-game leader is not in the game, it's also being a captain. And all the things combined, having the right word for your players, being an example in practice, being on time all the time, the work ethic, is so many things because we all see the Ingame leader just calling wise, but it's way more.
Well, that's the thing actually. So for me, right, I knew you worked hard, I know you have the passion. My thing was like, could you be a leader of men outside the game, you know?
I actually always been, but no one knows that.
And this is the thing, right? We can only see it from when I see you at events or when the community see you on cameras and stuff. We don't know the inner workings yet of how this goes. So I look at in-game leaders when they become a new one. Can they be the leader of men? You already had that part where you felt comfortable with the leader of men part. It was just the game part you needed to get down.
Yeah.
How much did X-Taz help you with that though? Because he gets praised so much where a lot of coaches we see from other teams is like, oh yeah, the coach does his job. But you guys were always in interviews saying how well it was working.
I think the strength we have with Remy is that we were really like strong together.
Yeah.
A lot on everything. And we had the same view of CS and we had a lot of talks. I mean, I remember my ex-girlfriend told me like, stop getting your phone. I said, oh, it's my coach. I need to talk with him all the time because it's an everyday work. And we had so many talks on the phone all the time, like sometimes at 2. Sometimes it was really, really funny because we really we love the game, both of us. Yeah. And we watched all the games and we were like talking on phone like, oh, have you seen that? Have you seen that? Yeah, at the same time. And we had so many good moments like this. And yeah, it helped me to become a better in-game leader overall, a better captain for the players. I mean, he's also a big part of who I am right now. Yeah. Even though I worked myself and I always try to get to be better, but I think without him, it would have taken longer. And he just helped me to get a better person, a better in-game leader, everything. It was quite hard sometimes, obviously. Yeah. I tilted. I mean, I was harsh on players, but what helped me is always apologize and just say that my bad once again.
Now, talk to me about how how did you deal with this moment in time with RPK when he left? Because this was a friend and a long-standing teammate. You guys, I know, had a very close relationship. How difficult was that moment for you?
Yeah, RPK is the best teammate I ever had. Zywoo is close, but RPK is just one of the best human beings you can meet in life.
I never heard a bad story about him, never heard a bad thing about him.
We have 3 guys in front. I mean, it's crazy in France because we can have like really bad guys, but also really good. No one talk also about our assistant coach, Matt. Matt is the best human being.
Okay.
Yeah, but talking about RPK. RPK is was not just a teammate. We've seen each other a lot outside of the game. We had the passion for cars together, so we met a lot about cars. We talked a lot about cars.
Nice.
We both lived in Andorra, so we were doing the bootcamp trip together, and I mean, we did a lot of things together.
Now, you played with Kenny at his prime.
Yeah.
You now got Zywoo, right? Zywoo, obviously, in the community's eyes and our eyes, is definitely the best one if you look at it. And you even just praised him and said, like, he's potentially the best teammate, right? Close to RPK. To me, when I watch this man play the game, even when you guys are losing, he's just happy. He never seems tilted. He never seems upset. Like, by the way, you're going crazy next to him. Like, you are here, he's sat next to you, and he's just, everything's fine. This is all like, what is it like to play with him?
This meme with the fire around him.
Yeah, that's
the little dog. It's Zywoo. Everything is fine, and it's me. The fire is me.
Yeah. What is it like to play with him?
It's insane to have a player like him. With such a talent, with just a smaller ego.
And he has no ego at all. Like, he never is like that at all.
A bit, obviously, a bit.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
You don't see it, but I mean, it's been almost 4 years I'm playing with Zywoo, so sometimes you see it, but it's nothing compared to other players.
Of course.
And yeah, I mean, it's such a joy to play with him. I'm starting to know him. The problem with Zywoo a bit is that he's too quiet sometimes. He's too quiet.
Interesting.
And he just needs to say what he thinks more.
Yep.
He just needs to be more like aware of everything and talking more about what he thinks, and because also he needs to improve. He can get even better than that. I know that. You know, sometimes he's not thinking about it, but he's more like entering too much and doing that kind of stuff. I just tell him, bro, stay away from entries.
Calm down.
Leave us doing it. Refrag us. Think about yourself. He doesn't know how to do that. He doesn't know how to think about himself sometimes. But yeah, he's such a talent, and you can speak with him about everything. We had a lot of good talks together. Sometimes I just tell him, Just tell me when I'm too harsh on you, and we need to find some ways to talk together. Because also, for me, it's not because he's Zywoo, I'm gonna change the way I am with him.
Yeah.
I will have a Simple or Nico, I will do the same. But I think it's important to be honest with everyone. And obviously, maybe they will take it bad or whatever. But my point is not to be bad with them. It's just to improve and get better.
Yeah.
So it's not because I treat Zywoo and Mizuta the same, exactly the same, or Dupree or Magis.
That's
They're
a
the
leader.
same for me. And yeah, I'm trying to be the same with everyone. And obviously, I know the Danes a little bit less, but yeah. So Zywoo, yeah. It's just a fantastic guy, fantastic player, and just feels good to play with him.
Now, you've just mentioned the Danes, right?
Yeah.
And I got to ask this from the start. From how I understood it, it was like the Vitality organisation's decision. Yeah. Was it a decision that you were happy with to start off with? Because you guys started to perform better, you know, as a team. We're seeing these results. You were challenging Navi. You were in these grand finals. And it was like, this is a team that knows it's dead, but they were just looking better. I remember how emotional you were at the World Finals for Blast, right, for example, when I saw you then. It was like the end of an era for you. But were you happy initially to know that, like, okay, we've got to swap to English and we're bringing some Danes in and it's all changing?
So let's look at August. We had a big talk in the hotel room with the French lineup.
Yeah.
And we knew at some point that Vitality could think about going international really soon. So we just spoke together and said we had a couple bad last month. It was really hard for us. So no, let's give everything. Let's give everything we have. And we started by doing a Pro League final against Navi. We lost 3-2, 16-14 in the last map, really close, best of 5. Even though I was online, we were really close to win the whole thing. Then everything started to get better. The only team we almost lost all the time was Navi, and they were better than us at all times. I think we did a good job fighting against them at the major. That was a close game still. I know they were not happy to play against us because they always knew that they had some troubles to play against us. So yeah, at the end, when it happened, that was really hard for me as well because we led this team, we took these young guys from nothing to compete at the highest level. We created a story together,
Definitely.
a really big story, and that wasn't easy at the beginning. And most likely, like, staying away from the coach I just love to work with and that I work with every day, and that is more than a coach, he's my friend. But at the same time, having the opportunity to play with such players was also part in my head. I'm not gonna lie, I was really sad in my heart because it's good friends, we created a story.
But your friend CS?
Yeah, but the competitor in me was feeling it was something, could be something good. You never know, but you always think that if you work well enough, if you do everything well enough, it's gonna be something.
Yeah.
You can do something with this lineup. You have Dupree, legendary player, 29, still hitting some crazy shots. Magisk, one of the best anchor player in the world, one of the best prey player in the world. Young Mizuta trying to entry frag everyone. Zywoo. I mean, I can't get a better lineup at some point. But yeah, everything needs to click together. It's not easy. It's communication, everything. We have to understand that obviously for FaZe, nothing was new. They had international lineup before.
Yep.
All of them speak English before in teams and blah blah blah. G2 the same, but for us that was everything new. So we needed to find everything. We had to go through everything. Like FaZe guys, Carrigan, Rain, they had to do trouble in 2016, 17. That was a long time ago.
And I remember I spoke to your manager, Matthew, and I said, I actually think everyone's being too harsh on you guys just because of the names you had. I said, this team will need more time than any of the new top teams created for this year because, first of all, most of you never spoke English in a team like that. Like you said, never played in a national team. And I know you can talk English, but it's so different when you get into a game. Then on top of that, French CS, Danish CS, not exactly the same stylistically at all. You've got a coach who's going to have a very different viewpoint. You've got emotional in-game leader who is completely the opposite of like what I would say Glaive is in terms of that emotional state, right? How are you feeling now? Like, we're seeing progression. How would you describe the whole team situation? Because I even see like the stuff you guys are doing outside of the game and trying to build this relationship, and it seems to be going well.
From day one, relationship outside of the game is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. We have no troubles. Everything is really good. We had some really good moments together. I just enjoy being with those guys. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, team-wise, we had some odd moments. I think the beginning was really good. We had some really good moments. We went through Blast group stage, but the problem was that Danny Zonik had this family problem. He lost his mom.
Yeah.
And from that time, everything started to fall apart. He wasn't there for 2 weeks, obviously, because of his mom funeral and just getting better himself. He had some trouble also. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, it's a really hard moment, so that was hard for him. And we lost sometimes. I have no regrets, obviously. I don't blame anyone because it's normal. But we have to admit that we lost some time and we didn't know which direction we were. And that was quite bad playing like EPL and Katowice. But then after EPL, we had a big talk. I mean, at EPL, I had a big talk with Zonik, and we all had a big talk as well with the way we wanted to approach to prepare for RMR. We had 3 weeks, I think, and it just started like good instantly in practice with the way we wanted to work again. And everything got better from that moment. So now we're just in a good positive direction. It's getting up and up. And let's see how it goes. I have no results in my head in this tournament. Just see where we are. I think it can be really good. If it clicks, it can be really good. But one day off, and it can be really bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to expect. Just I know that everyone in the team worked really hard, and it's getting much better. I have talked with people around, and they don't understand how hard is it to create an international team. It's not because 2 of the players won a 7 major overall with me 8 that it's gonna click like this. It's really hard. It's not that easy. So it just needs time and need to understand each other. And it starts to get better, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel way more comfortable now, calling wise. I think we started to have good T-side. C-side, we understand each other. We kind of tried to have a vitality DNA at the beginning, the old French lineup, but didn't click because Danes are not Kyrgyz and
So different, yeah.
So we have to find the Vitality 22 DNA. And that's what we're trying to do now for a bit more than 1 month. And it just gets better and better.
That's what we want to see. Dan, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much for the insight. Thank you for all the understanding of what's been going on with you and the team. You've had a legendary career. You should be very proud of it. And I know you've got a lot more to give.
Oh, yes. I'm not done, guys.
Definitely not. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. Thank you.